The Great Debate Show is available on all social media platforms. Subscribe to the Great Debate Show channel on YouTube and smash that notification bell, hit that like button, and leave your comments so I can come back and see who gets the comment of the day. And whoever that is, I shout you out on the next episode. The Great Debate Show is also available on TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. So follow, share, like, and your support will help me continue to give you all some of the best content that I possibly can, and hopefully even better content in the near future. I cover all of the hottest topics in sports today and yesterday, from NFL to NBA, boxing, UFC, wrestling, WWE, maybe AEW. Maybe I'll start back watching that as well. College football, college hoops, MLB. Got to get ready for that season. 2026 is approaching. Can my LA Dodgers go for a three-peat after winning back-to-back championships? We'll talk about all of that, but today I'm here to talk about the NFL Combine. Now that it's officially a wrap, whose stock is up, whose stock is down? What players did you see out of the Combine that you just know your team needs to draft, or that you will want your team to draft after watching the Combine? How did Carson Beck favor? Ty Simpson from Alabama, how did he favor? Whose stock is up, whose stock is down? We're going to get to it, and then we'll kind of briefly look at the NFL draft order and a few mock drafts. And we'll just go from there. All right, but this shouldn't take long. What's up to Keith Inman? How you doing, man? He said, how are you doing, sir? I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I hope all is well with you. It's a Sunday fun day. Kinda, I guess. We're talking football, and we'll be doing that for a lot of Sundays to come because there is no football. But with the Combine and the NFL draft approaching, there's plenty to talk about. The new league year starts in another week or so. NFL free agency is going to kick off, and there's going to be a ton to talk about this month as we get ready for the 2026 NFL season. All right, so let's get to it. Mark says, go Niners. CG23 says, who you think the 49ers should draft? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure yet. That's why I want to get into some of these guys here at the Combine that had a pretty good day versus some of the people who didn't have such a good week or weekend at the Combine. But that's good questions, y'all. I'm just not sure. Celtics fan definitely just dropped the bar. He said the Buckeyes killed it. You got that right. And they've killed it so much. You know, Mel Kiper Jr. has Caleb Downs, their safety, going number 2 overall to the New York Jets. I don't know when the last time we've seen a safety go that high. I think I can remember Jamal Adams being drafted by the Jets. And I still think he was like number 6 overall, or maybe he was in the top 5, but not the top 3, the top 2. How good is Caleb Downs? Everybody for the Ohio State Buckeyes did kill it, no doubt about it. So we got to talk about that as well. I want to see where Mendoza and Beck are going. I think we all know where Mendoza is going, Keith. OCCG, welcome back. He said hi. Hello to you, brother. Hope all is well. I want Concepcion from A&M. Damn, Mark, I don't know who that is from A&M. What position is he? Let me know the biggest need the 49ers need. Left tackle or center. In my opinion, we've got to get better in the trenches. I'm going to say anything on that offensive line. Left tackle is something that should be addressed regardless if Trent Williams stays this season or not with the 49ers. But if he doesn't stay and he becomes a free agent, then that is the most immediate position that needs to get filled. And what are the 49ers going to do with that number 26, 27th overall pick in the first round? We got to talk about that as well. Kula Kuba said NFL, all California teams, baseball, basketball, and football teams, including the Raiders, have work to do. Well, not the Dodgers. Okay, but I got you, man. What's up, Will? What's up, John Caesar? Need to keep watching them boys the 3 years. They 3 years on the line, says CG23. Gotcha. Pudding in the building, Chase Whitton. How y'all doing, man? I appreciate y'all joining me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. Some of the NFL Combine winners is what I want to start off with, and you know, it's quite a few people. So I'm gonna go ahead and y'all see I ain't got my table or whatever right now. I got a different setup, so y'all bear with me. But I'm going to go over a list of some of the winners right now, and I'm going to start with Tacario Davis, cornerback out of Washington. After transferring from Arizona last year, Davis flew a bit under the radar with a rib injury and pulled hamstring, limiting him to just 8 games. But there was no chance for the 6'4", 195-pound athletic cover man could go unnoticed in Indianapolis. He has a 33 3/8-inch arm befitting an edge rusher. He'll spark visions of smothering presence who can flush the receivers both at the line of scrimmage and at the catch point. His makeup speed was also evident as he ran a 4.41 in his second 40-yard dash. So this is Tacario Davis, the cornerback out of Washington. He has his stock going up after what he did over the weekend. What about Dennis Sutton, the defensive end out of Penn State? He had a 3-cone drill that was essentially dead in the modern combine landscape, with the overall majority of prospects opting out. But notching a time under 7 seconds, that's pretty good for edge rushers. And Dennis Sutton cleared that bar with his 6.90 second mark. Elsewhere, he led the edge rushers with a 10-foot, 11-inch broad jump, while also helping his cause with his figures in the 40, 4.64, and a vertical leap of 39.5 inches. So basically, Dennis Sutton, defensive end out of Penn State, I would say his stock also has went up. Caleb Banks, DT out of Florida. Now, this is a guy who, you know, he kind of jumps off the radar to me. I've seen him show flashes of what he could really be during this past football season here in college football on Saturdays. He would stand out and make plays. I want to thank K-Swag for following the Great Debate Show on TikTok. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. So it probably wasn't necessary for Banks to, you know, congregate with his fellow defensive tackles to know that the 6'6", 327-pounder wasn't quite like any of them. Still, there's something to be said for the impression that Banks made after missing all but 2 games last season. His unique explosion, evident in his 9.6 broad jump and 32-inch vertical leap. Banks' day came to an early end due to a cleat discomfort, but it probably wasn't necessary for him to prove as much more about his body, because a lot of people already kind of know about him. There are still significant questions about his leverage, block, deconstruction, and tackling, but while his future coaching staff will need to polish his finishing touch and other portions of his game, it's clear that no other interior defender poses quite the problems that Caleb Banks does right off the ball. So I would say Caleb Banks, DT at Florida, just for showing up, even though he didn't really have to do much and he didn't, you know, hang around too long, his stock has also went up. What about Charles Demings, cornerback out of Stephen, how do you say that again? Is that Stephon F. Austin? This is a guy who's under the radar. He was light on true sleepers, the changing college football landscape, siphoning more talent to top schools. Demings, however, was a true highlight. He's 6'1", 193-pound cornerback, and he compiled one of the best overall testing profiles, including a 4.41 in his second 40-yard dash, a 42-inch vertical leap, and an 11.0 broad jump. So Demings hardly looked out of place, and he figures to go in the middle of the rounds. That's Charles Demings, corner from Stephon F. Austin. What about Taylon Green, quarterback out of Arkansas? He's 6'6", 227 pounds. And he put together a pretty good combine performance. It was particularly, you know, well. He actually topped Anthony Richardson's quarterback records in the broad jump and the vertical leap. Is unquestionably impressive. And he ran a 4.36 40. At his size, that's pretty good. So look out for Taylon Green. He's going to be probably like a mid-round pick. That's the quarterback out of Arkansas. What about Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver, Alabama? He's 6'1", 206 pounds. He exceeded expectations in almost every facet of the testing, including a 4.48 in his 40, a 6.71 second 3-cone drill that was best among the few receivers who participated. He's got strong hands, smooth route running, and he's already evident on tape. But he stood out relative to the competition during these drills. His bid is to be a top 50 selection and complementary weapon in the passing attack, and it only gets stronger. So look out for Jeremy Bernard, wide receiver out of Alabama. And again, a lot of these players that I'm naming, they showed up because they need to get their stock up. These are people who are probably more like late day 2 picks, day 3 picks. So wherever they're mocked at, they're trying to get their stock up by moving into early day 2, late day 1, if possible. I'm almost done here. I'm going to say Grayson Halton, defensive tackle from Oklahoma. That's another name to look out for. 6'3", 296 pounds. He offers the team a distinctly different flavor on the inside. He continues to set himself apart at the combine with a 36.5-inch vertical jump, the third best mark by any DT over the past 20 years. His spark plug energy is also consistent across both his game work and his drills at the combine. So between his frame and his quick moving, disruptive style, Halton has a little bit of Brayton Fisklet to his game, and he could end up in a similar range. Look out for Grayson Halton, DT, out of Oklahoma. Skylar Bale, wide receiver, UConn. He was top 5 in receptions with 101. He had receiving yards of 1,278, and he got 13 touchdowns at UConn. So look out for Skylar Bale. He had a pretty decent day at 6 foot, 192 pounds. He tied for 3rd among all receivers with an 11-1 broad jump, and he ranked 5th with a 41-inch vertical. He could be an attractive day 2 alternative for a team that gets, who gets shut out of taking one of his class top receivers. Day 2, Skylar Bale, wide receiver, UConn. Okay, and there's Traydon Stooks, safety out of Arizona. We also got Eli Stowers, hope I'm saying that right, tight end from Vanderbilt. Malachi Lawrence, defensive end / outside linebacker from UCF. Mike Washington Jr., the running back out of Arkansas. Dylan Thieneman, safety out of Oregon. Kenyon Sadiq, tight end from Oregon. There's a few Oregon players I'm naming here. Now, Kenyon Sadiq, he looked pretty good. Look, we've got people like Isaiah Likely that's going to be in free agency. We got Kyle Pitts, who's going to get tagged or has already been tagged by Atlanta, I believe. If you can't get your hands on a tight end, this may be a good chance to do so. There might not be a bigger gulf between the #1 prospect at any position and the rest of the field than there is at tight end. And Sadiq demonstrated why on Saturday by establishing himself as a historically unique, multifaceted threat. He blazed the fastest 40-yard dash ever for a tight end with a 4.39 in his second 40-yard dash. That's an outstanding run for a 6'3", 241-pounder. He also added an 11-1 broad jump, 43.5-inch vertical to further his excitement about his potential as a seam threat. Because I'm thinking more like Vernon Davis when he used to go right up the seam. For 6'3", I'm not going to lie, 241, a 4.39, there's a lot of receivers that didn't quite run that. So look out for Kenyon Sadiq. The facet of his game remains somewhat hypothetical as he wasn't regularly targeted that much down the field in Oregon's offense. Maybe that's because they didn't have a quarterback. An NFL coordinator will no doubt relish the opportunity, though, to tap into those skills. Already seen as a likely late first-rounder, Sadiq might find a more reasonable landing spot somewhere in the teens. That's a name to look out for, y'all. Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon. And my #1 guy right now whose stock is up as far as the NFL Combine from this weekend, Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State. Somebody already commented that the Buckeyes won this weekend at the Combine, and yes, they did. Hey, good morning, King Mikey. How you doing, brother? I'm going to read some of these comments in 1 second. What about Ebacho Mio? He was such a good nose tackle in college. Joe Black. Let me find out a little bit more about him. I can't answer that question just right now. K-Swag, Andy, thank y'all for joining me. Joe Black, just bear with me for a second. Sonny Styles is #1 on the list as far as whose stock went up, though, y'all. The linebacker out of Ohio State. The Buckeyes are going to get drafted like I don't know what, come April 23rd through April 25th is the 2026 NFL draft. Those brothers are coming out the board left and right, and then so fast. Styles came into this event with expectations that he would put together something comparable to what South Carolina safety Nick Emmanwori, that's a Super Bowl champion now. So listen to that. He had the expectations to put together something comparable to what South Carolina safety Nick Emmanwori managed last year, and he did not disappoint. The 6'5", 244-pound linebacker notched a 43.5-inch vertical, which stands as the best of any off-ball linebacker. His 11.2 broad jump was also the best of any player in his position group and exceeded by only a few others since 2003. And with a 4.46 in his 40, 4.46, his straight line speed is hardly in question either. What's most exciting about Sonny Styles is that all of his traits are not just facets of his game, waiting to be put to use, but they're already being tapped into an extremely savvy former safety who's grown into his position. Former safety. This was just a reminder of what was already apparent with Styles, but it's probably time to talk about him being in the first tier of this draft, top prospects rather than the second. So look out for Sonny Styles, y'all. And his brother showed out too at the combine. This was a good combine. If anybody cares about it, I know some people say it doesn't matter. We got some teams that don't even really participate, or head coaches, general managers, they just sit in the scouts. Kyle Shanahan, my head coach for the 49ers, was not there. I don't think he was there last year. It shows the way they draft at times. But let's look at some of the people who kind of had a down, who prospect is kind of going down as far as their stock. I mean, Malachi Fields, the wide receiver from Notre Dame, he ran a 4.61 in his second 40, and it's gonna prompt plenty of questions, especially for a receiver who primarily, went on a lot of go routes. He also dropped a couple passes during his gauntlet run, which wasn't nearly as smooth as the efforts by the other pass catchers that were around him. So Malachi Fields' stock went down just a little bit. That's the wide receiver out of Notre Dame. Left tackle LT Overton, the defensive end out of Alabama. He didn't have such a good combine either. So they're saying his stock is down. Emmett Johnson, running back from Nebraska, down. R. Mason Thomas, outside linebacker, Oklahoma, down. Kate McDonald, DT, Ohio State, down. Not surprising, that's an Ohio State player, but he might not offer much beyond his calling card of helping defenses control the ground game, but this is somebody that the 49ers will probably pick. One of those DTs that, he really can't do much. He's just a body. We'll do stuff like that. But let's get to some more, let's get to the draft part now. I mean, looking at what we know now, Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, the brother also, there's a lot of good players here coming from Ohio State. And there's a lot of other players that are under the radar that's going to pop up, and they're going to do some things. Let's look at the draft order, though, for right now. And we know the Raiders are picking number 1. For Fernando Mendoza, more than likely is going to be that pick. Mel Kiper Jr., and I don't even know why I'm looking at his mock draft right now, because Mel Kiper Jr. has to be like one of the worst when it comes to his draft analysis. Like, I don't know why he's been on ESPN for over 40 years, because he gets damn near everything wrong, if I'm not mistaken. But that's neither here nor there. Right now, his first mock draft that came out earlier this week, he's got Mendoza going number 1, of course, overall to the Las Vegas Raiders. He's got Caleb Downs, the all-pro safety, the all-American safety from Ohio State, going number 2 to the New York Jets. That's pretty high. I don't know if the Jets need a safety that bad or not, but hey, they've got picks. They can trade back. They can move up. They can do some things. Will they get this safety? I don't know. They've done it before, but I don't think it was number 2 overall. And that was when they got Jamal Adams. But he's got Caleb Downs going to the Jets. Number 3, he's got the Arizona Cardinals drafting David Bailey. He's got the Tennessee Titans drafting Arvell Reese. That's the edge rusher. He's got the Giants drafting Spencer Fano. That's a left tackle, or he's an offensive tackle. Wide receiver Carnell Tate, another Ohio State Buckeye. He's got him going number 5 to Cleveland. Whoever the Browns quarterback is, that ain't a bad look. I don't know if he's probably top 5. We don't see receivers go top 5 that much. But, man, the Browns could definitely use some weapons. Number 7, there's another Buckeye, Sonny Styles, who I've just been talking about the past few minutes here. He's got him going number 7 to the Washington Commanders. Number 8, he has the New Orleans Saints getting Malachi Lemon. Number 9, and this guy has already said publicly to the media that he wants to play with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. At number 9, he has the Chiefs drafting the Notre Dame running back sensation, Jeremiah Love. Number 10, I don't know if he'll be on the board this long, to be honest with you, but he's got the Bengals getting Ruben Bain Jr. This is the phenomenal edge rusher from the Miami Hurricanes. I'm very impressed with him. I wish he would slide a lot further down. If he was still on the board by like 15 or 16, the Niners would need to make a call. My Niners would need to make a call and jump up from 26, 27 to go get him. But I don't think he'll even be on the board this long, going number 10 to the Bengals. They definitely could use him because they're about to lose Trey Hendrickson in free agency, we think. But, yeah, I don't see Bain Jr. being on the board that long. And I think the Titans should be getting Bain Jr. also. I know number 4, some people may think that's too high, but, man, Ruben Bain Jr. really can get to the quarterback and win a lot of that pass rush win rate. Number 11, he's got Miami Dolphins picking Francis Magoya. Number 12, the Cowboys going with Mansour Delane. 13, the Rams, Jermod McCoy. That's that corner, I believe, out of Tennessee. I've seen him on some of the 49ers mock drafts as well. Jordan Tyson going number 14 to the Baltimore Ravens. Number 15, the Buccaneers getting C.J. Allen. 15, the Jets picking again, and he's got them getting Peter Woods. I'll stop right there. 15 is enough. The whole line. Let's see who else. There's another one where we've got Caleb Downs going number 3 on another mock draft to the Cardinals. I wouldn't want to see that because he's the NFC West guy. And this person has Ruben Bain Jr. going number 2. See, that's why I don't understand why Mel Kiper has him number 10 coming off the board to the Bengals. Somebody else has a mock draft of him coming off the board at number 2 going to the New York Jets. Arvell Reese is a guy that the Titans could get. Everybody's saying that they will get him. That's the linebacker / edge from, again, guess where? Ohio State. I don't know, man. If Ruben Bain is still on the board at 4, the Titans should go for him. But Arvell Reese is another good option. This one has the Giants going with Jordan Tyson, wide receiver from Arizona State. The Browns, number 6, he has them going offensive tackle. That's Francis Magoya. Jeremiah Love on here is going number 7 to Washington. David Bailey, that's that edge from Texas Tech, going 8 to the Saints. Carnell Tate, number 9 to the Chiefs. Keldrick Falk, number 10 to the Bengals. Jermar McCoy, 11 to the Dolphins. That corner, Mansour Delane, they got to replace Trey Diggs. That makes sense for Dallas to get the corner from LSU. Avion Terrell, another corner from Clemson, going number 13 to the Rams. The Rams got a number 13 pick. That's a good front office, y'all. There's a lot of good corners in this draft, too. Quite a few. I've already named 3 back-to-back. Jermard McCoy from Tennessee, going 11 to the Dolphins. Mansour Delane going number 12 to the Cowboys. He's from LSU. And then at 13, the Rams picking a corner, Avion Terrell out of Clemson. That's 3 straight cornerbacks coming off of this guy's mock draft. So, Patriots on Crosby, New England less inclined to send Micah. I got to check that out. What did that say? Something about the Patriots and A.J. Brown. I'll get back to it here shortly. Number 14, the Ravens get Peter Woods, DT out of Clemson. 15, the Buccaneers get Sonny Styles, another Ohio State Buckeye. 16, Malachi Lemon. That's the wide receiver from USC. going 16 to the Jets. The Jets get the pick at number 2 and number 16. Or they could move up, or they could move back and get more picks. They just got a lot of opportunities to play around. 17 is TJ Parker, the edge out of Clemson, going to the Lions. The Vikings at 18, Caden McDonald, DT out of Ohio State. Carolina Panthers 19, Olava Iowan, guard from Penn State. The Cowboys pick again at 20. And he has them getting Cassius Howell, the edge out of Texas A&M. The Steelers pick at 21. Spencer Fano, offensive tackle from Utah. Utah's got some good tackles coming out of this draft. I hope the Niners can get one of them. Number 22, Caden Proctor, offensive tackle, Alabama, going to the Chargers. The Eagles pick at 23, and they've got them picking Kenyon Sadiq, that tight end from Oregon, at 23. Browns at 24, Denzel Boston, wide receiver from Washington. The Chicago Bears pick at 25. They have them picking Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle, Georgia. All these tackles coming off the board. The Niners can't sit at 27. They just can't. Number 26, R. Mason Thomas, edge, Oklahoma. Buffalo Bills. Number 27, the San Francisco 49ers. He has them selecting KC Concepcion. That's that wide receiver out of Texas A&M. KC Concepcion. Number 28, Houston Texans, Emmanuel Pregnon. Now, if the 49ers pick a wide receiver in the first round again, this is like Debo all over again in 19. Brandon Ayuk, who we picked in 2020. Ricky Pearsall, who we picked in 2024. All of these first-round draft picks as wide receivers. Kyle has not really hit on them. I mean, B.A. was never a top 10 wide receiver. Most people didn't think he's good, but he ain't that good. Debo was just a gadget player, and Ricky Pearsall doesn't seem to be able to stay healthy. I think this would be a bad move if Kyle Shanahan went with a wide receiver in the first round with all these good tackles that I'm naming that are coming off the board. He cannot make one of these pretty, sexy picks. It just has to be one of those boring-ass offensive lineman picks. It's going to help in the long run. We'll see what they do, though. Number 28, the Texans are going with Emmanuel Pregnon, guard, Oregon. Number 29, the Rams picking again. 13th pick, 29th pick, they're going with Ty Simpson, the quarterback out of Alabama. I'm about to talk about him in 1 second. Yes, the Niners need offensive line. They do. But this is just a mock draft that somebody else put together. It's not mine. I'm saying they better not draft a wide receiver at 27. They better get a tackle, because I've named about 5 or 6 tackles that came off this mock draft and from other teams. Could the Rams pick Ty Simpson? That would actually make sense. Yeah, Matt Stafford's coming back in 2026, but he ain't going to be around forever. Yes, he still looks good, but he ain't going to look good forever. This would be a good chance to bring a quarterback in that can, learn from the veteran, future Hall of Famer Matt Stafford, and just be a sponge and take it all in. And by the time Stafford hangs it up, Sean McVay could still have a franchise quarterback. It depends on what you all think of Ty Simpson, though. Number 30, the Broncos, he has them selecting C.J. Allen, linebacker from Georgia. Number 31, the Patriots selecting Caleb Lomu, the offensive tackle from Utah. There's another tackle from Utah. I told you they've got some good ones. We need to be trying to pounce on one of them. And 32, the Super Bowl champions, the Seattle Seahawks. He has them drafting Colton Hood, a cornerback from Tennessee. Tennessee's got some corners. LSU's got some corners. And the Buckeyes got some of everything on defense. I thought the interesting thing in this mock draft was Ty Simpson going number 29 overall to the Rams. That would be a very smart, wise move from Sean McVay, Les Snead, and the Rams front office if they'd done that. All right, so look, this is just the first mock draft. It's going to be about 10 more of these things between now and late April before we get to the draft, which I think is like April 23rd through the 25th. But the only one that's for certain pretty much is number 1. Mendoza going to the Raiders, more than likely. And what else do I have here? John Jones is in White House talks right now. John Jones is in negotiations with the UFC to join the June 14th card targeting Alex Pereira. And I got to get that UFC card and do another episode about that too. Mike Evans said he is going to limit his suitors The 6-time Pro Bowl wide receiver is only looking at a handful of teams while the Bucs pursue to re-sign him. That's according to ESPN. I just told you John Jones is in talks right now with the White House to do that, to be on that card for June 14th, and he's targeting Alex Pereira as the opponent. And the Vikings are set to cut Aaron Jones and Javon Hargrave. Yeah, barring a trade or something, the Minnesota Vikings plan to release the running back and the 2-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle before March the 3rd. That's according to Adam Schefter. All right, that's all I got for the news as far as what's going on. I gave you who I think stock is up and who stock is down after the combine for the weekend. And, you know, like, who do you think your team should draft? Me, as a 49er fan, I think we need to go tackle. And it needs to be one of those tackles that I named. There's plenty of them. I called a few from Utah. I called a few from Georgia, one from Alabama. There's plenty of tackles that are coming out in the top 20 picks, 25 picks. The Niners probably don't need to just sit there at 27 and wait to make that pick. All right, and thank you all for joining me, King Mikey and Keith, and all of you all, T2. Thank y'all for joining me. Yes, Mendoza's definitely going to the Raiders. OCCG, thank y'all on YouTube for joining me. I don't really have much else. We got the Knicks and the the Knicks are about to play somebody in a moment. Or they're playing right now, I believe. It's kind of a good game. Is it the Knicks and Pistons? Somebody's playing right now. We got a little NBA action today. A double header, I believe. So I'll check out some of that. Talk about that probably later on tonight or tomorrow. But the NFL draft is approaching, and it's going to be interesting to see who does what. Free agency comes up in about another week or so. Will A.J. Brown get traded? If he does, Philadelphia mock draft is definitely going to change. They may try to replace him immediately in the first round. Or they may go get one of those guys in free agency right now. The Indianapolis Colts are going to tag Daniel Jones and Alec Pierce. I think that's what I saw. They're going to work out a deal for Daniel Jones, but I didn't think they would tag him. But a report came through just before I went live that they're going to probably tag Alec Pierce and possibly Daniel Jones. A lot of people have been wanting Alec Pierce. He's been on certain teams' radar. He's a speedy guy. To me, he's kind of like another Ricky Pearsall, and I think that's still a number 2 receiver, and the 49ers need a primary wide receiver 1. I don't know where they're going to get it from. This mock draft says they're going to get it in the first round, as I told you who they said they were going to draft, but I wouldn't do it. But Kyle Shanahan is known for drafting wide receivers in the first round, so we will see. I hope he addresses the offensive line, whether Trent Williams returns for 2026 or not to the 49ers. Spurs. Okay, the Knicks and the Spurs. Thank you, LOX. That's who's playing right now. How you doing, brother? West side is the best side. Spurs and Knicks right now. Yeah, I want to see that, Dre. Thank you, Dre. Still DRE out there in Cali as well. Somebody said we need A.J. Brown or Justin Jefferson. I would take either one of them too, brother. I promise to God I would. How many times have me and King Mikey on TikTok and YouTube been saying we'll trade receivers? He's an Eagle fan. I'm a Niner. I would definitely give them Brandon Ayuk, even though I don't think we're going to be able to trade him. We're more than likely going to have to release him. We've already told people we ain't playing him. We ain't playing him anymore. But I would love to get A.J. Brown for Brandon Ayuk. Or Justin Jefferson. I'll give you Mac Jones. I'll give you Brandon Ayuk. Or I'd give you a mid-round pick. Hell, I'll give you a second-round pick. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to give you probably a second-round pick and probably even a late pick. A conditional pick plus Mac Jones. If that's not enough to get Justin Jefferson, I ain't going to be able to get Justin Jefferson. Colts are re-signing Alec Pierce anyways. Okay, I saw something about tagging him. But, yeah, if they're going to re-sign him, then, yeah, I know you have to tag him in order to get him re-signed. But then sometimes that don't always work out. They got to stop agreeing to those CBAs like that, man. They really do. Because the tagging game sucks and it messes their money up. If he gets tagged and they don't come up with a long-term deal and he gets hurt, he's screwed. So, but yeah, thank you for the comment, Jacob. Varys, I don't think the Eagles trading AJ unless it's something they can't pass on. You know, you may be right too, Varys, because report just came out earlier before I went live here that people around the league are saying they want AJ Brown, but not that bad. The Eagles' asking price is too high. And if their asking price is too high, then you know why. They don't want to trade him. And I don't blame them, because AJ Brown is not the Eagles' problem. The coordinators and the coaching staff has been the Eagles' problem, which has been AJ Brown's problem. So if I was an Eagle, I wouldn't want him to go. That's for damn sure. Good comment, though, Varys, 100. I would give Purdy and keep Mac. I would love to do that, but you know the 49ers aren't going to do that shit. You know damn well they're not. I would send Purdy to Minnesota, New York Jets, Miami Dolphins, right now. Right now. And keep the cheaper Mac Jones. Yeah, I would love that, but I know that's not going to happen. Ed said JJ over AJ, although both tend to quit a bit when it's not going their way. That's an interesting comment, Ed. I don't know if JJ, Justin Jefferson, I think that's who you're talking about. I don't know if he quits, but yeah, I don't see the Vikings doing that. I don't see the Vikings trading Justin Jefferson at all, but Justin Jefferson is going to get frustrated if he doesn't get a quarterback. And the Vikings are definitely desperate for a veteran quarterback. That's who they're going to bring in. I'm hearing a veteran quarterback to compete with J.J. McCarthy. I'm hoping Broncos trade for A.J. Brown. That would be good, Ed. You a Bronco fan? That would be great for Bo Nix. And Sean Payton gave up his play calling. He's giving it to the OC, the former quarterback. I can't think of his name right now. Wade, whatever his name is, something Wade. So that would be interesting. I still think he's going to be a Patriot if he gets traded, or a Buffalo Bill, or going back to the Tennessee Titans, because I think he would love to go back to Tennessee. All right, he's from Starkville, Mississippi. He was drafted by the Tennessee Titans. Now they've got a coach that I think that A.J. Brown wouldn't mind playing for, in Robert Saleh, playing with Cam Ward. You know, I don't think that would be a bad look if he went back to Tennessee. I wouldn't rule that out, but he may not get traded at all. Now, we're going to find out, but if it's going to happen, we were told it was going to happen before the start of free agency. The Lions are going to come back. I would like to see the Lions come back, man. I fuck with Dan Campbell and Jared Goff and them boys. But they're not going to have their, what's his name, David Montgomery. I don't think he's going to be coming back. Good comment, Vinny. And you know who's overrated? Damn, I missed that. Where did that go? Damn, you don't think Purdy better than Mac? He is better than Mac, yes. But I don't think he's $53 million per year better than Mac Jones. So that's why I would take the cheaper quarterback. Thank you. There she goes. Miss Relatable. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate you. Okay. The 49ers have to learn how to coordinate, says Steel DRE. Yeah, you got that right. And you know who's overrated, and I'm sick of hearing everyone say the Bears are good. They're not. Okay. That's a Lions fan, I think he is. I wouldn't say that the Bears are overrated now. They're good, and they did something that Kyle Shanahan hadn't done for the 49ers yet in one offseason. They revamped that offensive line. Oh, okay, it's the money. I get it. He now that much better than Mac Jones. Yeah. Look, Purdy does things better than Mac Jones. Don't get me wrong. Mac Jones is a statue in the pocket. Purdy can move out of the pocket. The difference is, I don't care if Mac Jones doesn't move out of the pocket much. He kind of sees the field a little bit better. He processes things sometimes a little faster than Brock Purdy. So he'll get rid of the ball and just throw it in the ground. You know, if you protect Mac Jones, he'll be all right too. Purdy, he can move when he's got to move. I like that too. But he can also, get a little careless and reckless with the football. Mac Jones doesn't do that. He throws with great anticipation. I would say that, but he doesn't have a good strong arm. He's kind of got a noodle of an arm, and Mac Jones has a lot of good arm strength. So, look, I know we're not getting rid of Purdy. I know that. But the fact that the Niners want to keep Mac Jones, it just tells me that you don't trust Purdy to play 17 games. And if that's the case, then why did you make such a huge investment in him? Hopefully we'll make some power moves in this offseason. I hope you're right, Mrs. Relatable. I hope you're right, and thank you again. That ain't on Purdy. That's on the front office and the Purdy deal. I never said it was on Purdy. And I've always blamed the front office. I wouldn't have paid him, point blank. I would have made Mac Jones QB1 and Brock Purdy, you can go. I bet you the offensive line will be fixed now because we could afford to fix it. Let me not pay attention. Let me not read this YouTube stuff, man. I see a few comments over here too. Welcome King Mikey says Keith. LOX said the Spurs. Keith said the 49ers need a quarterback. Sorry, just my opinion. Oh, and what do you know? We're talking about the 49ers quarterbacks right now. Welcome to the Great Debate Show, live with opinions on the combine. Thank you, Keith. Hope everybody's watching and listening, and I hope you enjoyed. Smash that notification bell, smash that like button, and let me know in the comments what y'all think. Who is your draft crush after watching the combine? Whose stock is up? Whose stock is down? I just gave you mine. Who is your favorite draft crush right now that you want your team to draft in this 2026 NFL draft that's coming up here? All right, I'm gonna check out the Knicks and the Spurs and see how that's going. I got the Spurs winning. The Spurs are a really good basketball team. I can see the Spurs and Knicks being an NBA Finals preview, but I can also see the Spurs and Pistons being in the NBA Finals. A lot of people are starting to think that we're just jumping on the Pistons too quick. They don't have a second scorer. They can't do this, they can't do that when the playoffs come. I don't know, we'll see. Could they be the Cleveland Cavaliers from last year? A #1 seed and then they flop as soon as they get to the playoff? Maybe. You know, I like the Knicks. I had the Knicks and the Thunder making the finals. But I said, watch out for the Spurs. The Spurs are a team that nobody's really wanting to respect. And I don't understand that. Anthony Edwards is one of the most entertaining players in the NBA right now, in my book, in my opinion. But Wembanyama is probably the best player in the world right now in the NBA when it comes to basketball. And ain't enough people saying that, in my opinion, and that kind of bothers me. I mean, they're good. They play defense. They move the ball well on offense. They rebound. They defend. I mean, and they've beaten the defending champions 4 out of 5 times this season. They have their number. So the only way the Thunder get to the finals is what somebody said on here the other week. The Spurs run into the Nuggets and get eliminated by them, and then the Nuggets play the Thunder, and then the Thunder beat the Nuggets again, probably in 7. Same thing as last year. That would be the only way the Thunder would get there, because they would have to miss or duck the Spurs. They just can't get them. LOX said Jeremiah Love. Yeah, I talked about him. He said he wants to play with the Chiefs. He'd love to play with Patrick Mahomes, and he's on a few mock drafts right now, going to the Chiefs at number 9 in the draft. Your Titans, though, LOX, I think need to go with Ruben Bain Jr., but everybody's got y'all getting the Arvell Reese dude from Ohio State. You can't go wrong picking any player out the Ohio State defense, to be honest with you. But I don't see Bain Jr. being on the board out there like the top 8, top 6. And if he's still on the board before what did y'all think? Did you go with Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami, or did you go with Arvell Reese out of Ohio State? Which one should come off the board first? And do you think Caleb Downs, the safety, should be going number 2 overall to the Jets? That's according to Mel Kiper's mock draft. I don't know why we even bother talking about him, though. Like I said, he's like been wrong for a lot of years with all his mock drafts. Let's see here. I'm gonna read a few more and get up out of here. Edge rusher Zion Young. Okay, that's a good one, Miss Relatable. She's dropping some knowledge here on me. Zion Young. We need an edge rusher, no doubt about it. But I think the first pick for the 49ers, it needs to be offensive line. It really does. I mean, Brock Purdy was running for his life. He can scramble, but it doesn't mean like he needs to run for his life every time he drops back to throw. And that's because they can't protect him. The Seattle Seahawks tore us apart and dragged us. We got smashed because we couldn't protect our quarterback and we couldn't get to their quarterback. So while edge rusher is a must, let's get the O-line straight first, then back to the D-line. Just my opinion. How to fix the Clippers? I don't know if they can be fixed, Sunshine John. I think that they're good enough to get that 8 seed. But Kawhi Leonard just won't play long enough for that to happen. Now, Darius Garland is going to make his debut, I think, today or tomorrow. I would love to see how that looks, but man, Kawhi you just can't trust him to stay on the court. Let's see here. Varys. I think, is that you from over there on TikTok as well? Varys says they don't say the best because they didn't see him in the playoffs. But yeah, I mean, because they didn't see him in the playoffs yet, bro. Okay, I hear you, but you're going to see him this year. You know, I don't think it's going to be much of a difference when we get to the playoffs, man. I really don't. I think he's poised, and I think he's ready, and I think he's ready for the moment. I don't think he's going to fold, but I understand what you're saying. They need to see it to believe it. I got you. But I've seen enough to know that watch out for the Spurs, y'all. I've been saying that for a while now. I got a feeling I'm still going to be trying to beat people in the head with that shit when we get to June. We will see. LOX said they say his arm's too short. Oh, Jeremiah Love? Okay. He's going to be a running back. Is that going to be an issue? Vera says, what you think about Kenyon Sadiq? I talked about him about 30 minutes ago, brother. He said, I think he's going to be a top 5 player in this draft. Want us to draft him. If we don't, re-sign Dallas Goedert. Dallas Goedert. Where is he at now? Is he still an Eagle? You're an Eagle fan? I think that Kenyon Sadiq is going to be an underrated tight end, and somebody's going to watch him after the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks of the season and say, damn, how did we miss on him? I just talked about him, and he had a great day at the Combine as well. He's got a lot of untapped potential. I hate to use the word potential, but he does have it. He kind of reminds me of a Vernon Davis from back in the day who can really shoot up the seam. Oregon didn't take advantage of that a lot when he was in college, but put him with the right team and the right coaching staff, and yeah, I think he's going to be dangerous. So we can agree on that. Felix said DT Peter Woods. All right, we got a lot of big names here about the Combine. Peter Woods. Now, where exactly did he play? And man, I'll take him if he's good. Sheldon Peterson said hi. Hi, Sheldon. LOX said no, Bane arms are too short, they say. Oh, you know what? I've heard that. But, man, I've seen the brother get to the quarterback. I've seen him, even when he doesn't get sacks, he gets pressures. But I think you're telling me you'd rather go with the guy that they've got y'all on the mock draft to get right now, then, and that is Arvell Reese out of Ohio State. You can't go wrong with a Buckeye. But, man, y'all don't like Bane? How many times have we heard people say their arms are too short, or they're not this or they're not that, or quarterback hands are too small, and then they come out and become a Hall of Famer? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about Bane. Thank you for that comment, though, LOX. That's good to know. Some people have him going in the top 5. Some have him going like right at number 10. But I don't see him being on the board past 10, regardless. Sheldon said Eagles. Okay. Eagles in the building. Where is A.J. Brown going to go? We'll find out. Y'all is going to be really jumping. I'm going to be putting videos out left and right when the new league year starts and the first day of free agency, or the day before the first day of free agency. You know, they start verbally agreeing to these contracts, you know, as soon as they can, as soon as they hit that timeline. So it's going to be a lot of videos and a lot of content coming. I hope y'all stay tuned for it. Just follow The Great Debate Show. Hit the follow button. Subscribe to The Great Debate Show on YouTube. Smash that bell, and you won't miss any other content. I can't wait to get into it, because this is what everything that's about to happen in the next few weeks is what's going to make 2026 a good or bad NFL season. It's going to have everything to do with why your team is going to be better or worse, or just stay the same. There's a lot of needs. It's not a deep draft when it comes to certain positions, but then again, it's deep at others. So this is going to be interesting, man. We'll see. But again, it's a domino effect when it comes down to A.J. Brown and what happens with him. That's going to be a domino effect with everything else that happens. What did y'all think of Ty Simpson? A lot of people are up and down on him, but some people say that Ty Simpson is going to be better than Mendoza. They just think that he was playing with a great team, and Indiana won the national championship. Ty Simpson just didn't have a running game in Alabama. Now, this is not me saying it. I'm just asking the question. What do you all think? Do you think Ty Simpson could be better than Mendoza? Or do you think he's just another quarterback from Alabama that's gonna get drafted and he's overrated and he won't really amount to much? We'll see. Do you think Justin Jefferson is going to the Bills? Damn, that would be good for them, wouldn't it? I don't think Justin Jefferson is going anywhere. I hate to say it. I would like for him to go to San Francisco. But no, I don't think. Look, Justin Jefferson is not A.J. Brown. He's not the type to stress or press the issue. And I wish he was a little bit more like A.J. Brown, because if he was, he probably would be a Buffalo Bill. But he's just not the type to run his mouth or talk or complain. He's always got something positive to say. He never says anything negative about his quarterbacks. He knows J.J. McCarthy may not be that guy, but he still stands up for him, speaks up for him, and doesn't throw him under the bus. He says all the right stuff, whether he means it or not. And he's not a diva. So you got to give it up to Justin Jefferson. Much respect to him. But I wish he had a little bit of diva in him, because if he did, you probably could get him to Buffalo. AJ literally can't be traded because of the cap. Now, they can do it. They just probably don't want to do it. Good questions, though, y'all. Jacob Black also said he was upset this season because of how much he didn't get the ball. And he should be. But he still didn't really throw anybody under the bus. That's why the general manager got fired in Minnesota, because he didn't leave a good quarterback room. They had a great quarterback room in 2024, but they let Daniel Jones out of the building and they let Sam Darnold out of the building, who is now a Super Bowl champion. That's why he's fired. And guess who took him back? The San Francisco 49ers. They fired the general manager because of this one reason right here. Justin Jefferson didn't get the ball because he didn't have a quarterback. And that's on the general manager or whoever else said, nah, we straight. We're going to ride with J.J. McCarthy. We're going to depend on this young pup. Because he was still a rookie, in my opinion. He missed his rookie season. This was a rookie year for him, second year or not. They depended on him to elevate the Vikings offense, and they're in win-now mode. And the 49ers took him back after getting fired from Minnesota. The Niners just, I love them. They're going to be my team forever. I'm red and gold till I'm dead and cold, but I wish I had more positive things to say about us, but we do some of the dumbest shit. Why bring him back? He didn't do a good job in Minnesota. How do you expect him to come back to San Francisco and do a good job? This also goes to show that they don't trust John Lynch. They know he needs some help, but they just won't fire him and tell you, we got another general manager. Anyway, Belvy says, gang, gang. All right. Who's your wide receiver one in the draft? I still got to do some research. I'm not going to lie to you. When I come back with my mock draft, I'll tell you who's who and what's what. I'm not sure right now. I do like the brother from USC. What's his name? Lemon. I like him. But, and there's another one out of, let me do some research on that. Who's your number one wide receiver? They have the 49ers picking one in the first round at number 27, but I think we should be going tackle. And I think we need to probably move up to like 18, 15 to do so. Varys says, Unc, what's your early Super Bowl prediction for next year? Man, I don't know. I can't say that right now. But we know we never get people to repeat. As good as Seattle looks, something will happen while they can't repeat, I'm sure, just like the Eagles. So let's pick another team. It could still be the Rams, you know. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs got back into the fold. Depending on who Buffalo gets at wide receiver and if they can get some help on defense, they could finally still get there. We don't know what's going to happen with Lamar Jackson and the new head coach, Jesse Minter, their new OC. But again, Eric Bieniemy is back calling plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. He's back. So watch out for the Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Rams, Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, I would love to see what the Colts do. If Daniel Jones comes back, Alec Pierce stays, they traded that first round pick for Sauce Gardner. I would like to see what the Colts look like. They got banged up the second half of the season, but that looked like a team to watch out for. I'm not saying they'll win the AFC, but the AFC South is going to be interesting for the first time in some years because the Colts still have something to prove. They got to make that. They got to make that count. Sauce Gardner. They gave up 2 first-round picks for that brother, and I thought that was overpaying. But they got him now. So let's see how he does in a full year with them. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Everybody keeps telling me they're a real team, even though they couldn't win a playoff game again. But let's see what the Jaguars do in year 2 under Liam Cohen. And watch out for Robert Saleh and the Tennessee Titans. Brian Dabble calling plays for Cam Ward. They've got $120 million of cap space. So while people are saying the Titans don't have anything to offer, they got plenty to offer. When March the 8th gets here, I think that's the day the free agency begins, they'll have plenty. They'll have plenty. Because it's going to be their money. All that loot they're going to be spending. Somebody's going to want to go over there and play defense for Robert Saleh. They love him. They love how he, connects with the players. They want to play for him. Somebody would like to, play for Brian Dabble, who is the offensive coordinator in Tennessee. And they want that money in that tax-free state in Tennessee. I think the Tennessee Titans, we talked about this about a week or so ago after the Super Bowl. We said who's going to be the new or the next New England Patriots in 2026. A lot of people said the Giants. Some people said a lot of people said the Giants. I forget some of the other teams that were said. Y'all came up with some good options, but watch out for the Tennessee Titans. If they spend their money right like the Patriots did, and they got a lot to spend, and they can get that offensive line right, they're almost there. Just another player here or there that they plug in for Cam Ward and give him the time in the pocket, give him some weapons. And Calvin Ridley being a number 2 option or a number 3 option is much better than him being your number 1. Then this could be a dangerous team. But they got to draft well and they got to spend money in the right places. We'll see. Jeffrey Simmons is a dog though on defense. And if they add Bain Jr. on the edge or that guy from Ohio State, Arvell Reese, watch out for the front 7. Robert Saleh is going to fix that defense in Nashville. So just wanted to say that. LOX, he must like what I'm saying. He said tighten up. B. Wayne, what's up, brother? He said, what up, though? Felix said Carson Beck better than Ty Simpson. Carson Beck got booed out of the damn stadium at the combine this past weekend, but he was in Indiana. So, and he's been playing for Miami. So it's not because he had a bad combine. It's just because he was in Indiana and he plays for Miami. How do y'all see Carson Beck paying out? Where is he getting drafted? Felix just said he's better than Ty Simpson. I don't know. Is Mendoza really the best quarterback? Or is Carson Beck or Ty Simpson going to surpass them in the NFL, though? If they get to the right team, they get drafted day 2 or day 3, and they luck up and get on a team that's got a good system, good coaching staff, good coach, good quarterback that can mentor them, they could be in a better situation, than Mendoza. Even though I do think Mendoza, he's got the right coach right now in Clint Kubiak. If he can be a good head coach. I think he could be just as good as Ben Johnson. LOX said tighten up. He said, hell yeah, he is. Mendoza. Hashtag Mendoza. I don't know. I think Mendoza's cool, but I just don't know if it was because he played on a really good team or he's really that good. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Because he's going from playing on the best team in the nation in college on a collegiate level to going to the worst team in the NFL on a professional level. So we'll see. B. Wayne said Doza going 1. Oh, yeah, we know that. No doubt. Niners drafting a lineman or wide receiver first round. They've got wide receiver in the first round on some of these mock drafts, but it better be an offensive lineman. There's a few good ones coming out of Utah. There's another one out of Alabama. Yeah, it needs to be an offensive lineman, whether they get Trent Williams back or not. All right, y'all. Vertigo 1 said back to the Rams. That's a good one. Did you hear me earlier? You probably weren't here, but there was a mock draft that I read out earlier where they've got Ty Simpson going to the Rams at number 23. The Rams pick at 13 and 23 or 26. Something like that. But either way, people are thinking that the Rams are going to pick a quarterback with that second first-round pick that they've got. You're saying Carson Beck. They're saying Ty Simpson. I think either way, if they pick the right one, the Rams are going to be in good shape for the next 10 years if those guys pan out, which It's hard not to pan out under Sean McVay and his coaching staff and his play calling and, his system. This is the perfect time to get a quarterback to learn the game from Matt Stafford before he checks out. You got to be a damn good front office to get 2 first-round picks, and you were in an NFC Championship game just this past season. And the Rams were just in the championship game. They got 2 first-round picks. Do they use them both? Do they get rid of one of them and, get a ransom, a haul of draft picks? I don't know, but that's a damn good front office. When you've got 2 first-round picks and your ass was in the NFC Championship. Wow. Talk about some maneuvering. I forget how they got it, who they traded to get it or whatever. I don't remember, but damn. Just wanted to just tip my hat to them. That's why the Seahawks and the Rams were in the championship game. How can the Niners close the gap and get in there and get one of those teams out? They need to protect their quarterback, and on the other side of the trenches, they need to get to the opposing quarterback. That's the number 1 and number 2 things that the Niners need to be doing in free agency and the draft. I told you all that Javon Hargrave and Aaron Jones are about to get cut from the Minnesota Vikings. And I told you that Alec Pierce and Daniel Jones may get tagged in Indiana for now. George Pickens is already tagged. Kyle Pitts is already tagged in Atlanta. And the tagging game continues. We're just about a week away from free agency. I'm going to watch the Spurs and the Knicks. Somebody give me the score. Let me know if that's worth watching. I'm going to check out some basketball. Sunday fun day. No more football. It's going to be a long, long off season. But we're going to have a lot of content coming as soon as the new league year starts and we get this free agency popping. Y'all know it's going to be popping. And I still expect some trades to happen. Lineman, I like. Yes, we got to get the offensive lineman. Malik Benson, a sleeper, Unc. Do your research, Speedy Wideout. I will. When I do my mock draft, trust me, I'm going to have my research done. I'll admit I don't know every player that you guys are mentioning right now, but I promise you, I'm watching the game right now. What's the score, Jacob? Watch out for Miles on Cleveland next season. Myles Garrett? Are you telling me to watch out for Myles Garrett? Like I don't know, like I don't know that after what he just did. 22-21 Knicks in first quarter, into the first quarter. Okay, it's a tight one for now. Did you watch wrestling, WWE, the cage matches last night? Yes, I did, and I was here live to talk about it, Kelvin. Right after the chamber ended. If you missed that content, man, it's on YouTube. That's why y'all gotta subscribe to the YouTube channel and smash that bell so you won't miss any of that content. Yes, I was up last night watching it and talking about it immediately after the show. Had a lot to talk about too. Hold up, it's a commercial. All right, I'm finna go ahead and get out of here and watch the second quarter of the Spurs and the Knicks then, and I will check out that receiver that you were talking about, Malik Benson. I sure will. Really think the Rams should trade for AR and let him learn from the Stafford and be his successor. AR. Who is that, Varys? We talked about Carson Beck, Todd Simpson. Who is AR? I'm sorry. Anthony Richardson. That's not a bad idea at all. I forgot to mention Anthony Richardson as gotten the permission to seek a trade. And, well, no, I didn't. I talked about that earlier in the week. And I did let everybody know that I think that that's somebody that I still think that can be good. He's got some potential, and I think he still can get that out if he gets to the right team and the right coach. I'm not saying he's going to be Sam Darnold or even Baker Mayfield, but I think that he can at least surpass what Geno Smith did in Seattle when people thought that he was a bust, and then he turned out to be okay. He exceeded expectations. He just, and he got to the Raiders, and we see how bad that is. But, yeah, I think Anthony Richardson, if he gets to the right team, to the right situation, he's still got a hell of an arm talent, and he's got his legs he can use. Hopefully he does that more. Hopefully he can get down and, not get hurt, not get injured. But, you know, I think he can come back from that hole, pulling himself out of the game and all of that. I remember all of that, but he can erase all of that if he can just get to the right place. And Varys thinks it could be the Rams. That's not a bad look. That's not a bad look at all. I'm sure he would love to go learn under Matt Stafford and play under Sean McVay. If that happened, then that would eliminate these Carson Beck or Ty Simpson draft picks that people have the Rams taking with their second first-round pick. That's not a bad idea at all, man. I like that comment, Varys. I really do. Varys said they traded with the Falcons. Okay. What did they give the Falcons, though? Who did the Falcons get from the Rams? And I wonder how the Falcons feel about that right now. 21-22, Knicks up out the one. Anthony Richardson, yeah, okay, gotcha. All right, y'all, this has been great. Thank you very much. Kind of a slow day when it comes to the traffic here on both platforms. I understand it's Sunday afternoon, and people are probably tired, resting, sleep, or in church. I get it. Victor going crazy right now. Man, that's my guy. I bet he is. Thank you for the feedback, Jacob Black. I appreciate it. What about the Commanders? What do you think they'll do with their first pick? Wide receiver, edge rusher, offensive lineman. They need to keep Jayden Daniels upright. It could be one of those three, I would say. The mock draft that I looked at, I think they had the Commanders going with, let me check that out real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I think they had the Commanders going, who did they have them going with? Let's see here. Commanders. One mock draft has the Commanders going with Sonny Styles at number 7. And then there's another that has the Commanders going Jeremiah Love. You can't pass up on Jeremiah Love, I guess, at number 7 if he's available. But what do you think they should do? Styles is a good pick. I don't know. One has offense, one has defense. I think it needs to be more of, we need to get to the quarterback. That's something that the Commanders ain't did very much. And they need to protect their quarterback, Jayden Daniels, because we know what he did his rookie year, but they can't do that again if they don't protect him. And everybody's already starting to say he's going to be RG3. So I say protect Jayden Daniels and try to, really load that team up, stack that team up before they have to pay their quarterback. Definitely ain't from Texas. The Niner fans here are something else. You're too calm and nicer. You're too calm and nicer than them. Thank you, Big Blue. I appreciate that, brother. Man, it just doesn't do any good to be crazy, aggressive, and, all mad about it. I mean, I just call it like I see it. And the 49ers, I'm just not one of them fans that's going to say what a lot of Niner fans want to hear. We're going to win every week. We're going to go 18-0. 17-0, bang, bang, Niner game. We're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Don't that sound like Cowboy fans? Just so delusional. But I'm a bandwagon or I'm not a real fan if I don't say those things that I just uttered. But I just keep it real, man. I'm brutally honest. Shanahan and Lynch have done a terrible job in the drafts these past 9 years straight. They have missed on a lot of high draft picks. And it's time to stop. Iowa offensive lineman. Unreal mullet. Oh, they're talking about his hair right now at the combine. Speaking of offensive linemen, the 49ers need to draft one or two or three. And just in case if they can't get Tyler Linderbaum from the Ravens. And I don't know why the Ravens wouldn't keep him or re-sign him. But that would be my number one guy to get in free agency if he is available. Did you say you watched WWE last night? I did, Jacob. And I was here live immediately after the chamber ended. That video is up on YouTube right now. I was live on both platforms here, TikTok and YouTube. But unfortunately, you can't go back and see it unless I upload the video on TikTok. So that's why I tell you all to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. I had plenty to say. Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill, all that. I got all of it. So y'all check that out. Dominic Mysterio, thank you for following. I know that's not you for real, but hi, Dominic Mysterio. Brian, thank y'all for joining me. I can't wait till Monday Night Raw. I can't wait. Cody was robbed by Orton. I told you Orton would win. I said it, Kevin. I said it, Kelvin. Okay, they got the Rams' first round pick last year, and they drafted James Pierce. James Pierce started to come along. He started to come along for the Falcons. I remember him from Tennessee, I believe. But damn. The Rams got the first round pick last year, and they drafted James Pierce. Okay. The Falcons is who got that pick. Man, that's a good move, though. I mean, when the Rams gave that pick away, well, I wonder who did they draft? How far did they go back? I bet you they just be winning it all on all cylinders, man. Shout out to the Rams front office. All right, y'all, that's my time. I'm gonna watch the basketball game, Knicks and Spurs. There's a double header too. Is it the Nuggets and Thunder, or I forget? NBA. Y'all know I'll be like coming and going with it, but I'm gonna try to check it out, see what's what. Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. I will be here live immediately after Raw. Hopefully it's something good to talk about. Hopefully it's something exciting to talk about. We know Roman Reigns will be back tomorrow, and he and CM Punk are going to have some personal shit going on. They're already throwing shots at each other. Roman Reigns sent something last night on Twitter during Punk's match. Punk shot right back at him on the post show. So this should be interesting. Roman Reigns will be back for him and Punk as they build this WrestleMania thing. Brock Lesnar is still going to be having some dates showing up to see who is going to, answer his open challenge. We hope it's Obafemi or Royce Keys. We'll see. And I don't really know what else is that much forward to looking to on Raw. Rhea Ripley probably won't be on Raw for the next month or so because she's going to be in the angle with Jay now, that she's going to face Jay Cargill at WrestleMania 42, who's on SmackDown. So I don't know. We'll see. Minnesota and Denver. Okay. That's better. That's better. I love Anthony Edwards. I love Jokic. So that'll be a good one. All right. Well, that's my time, man. I'll be back tomorrow night after Monday Night Raw. I'll keep you alert with anything that breaks as far as NFL news, A.J. Brown, trade rumors. It seems that the Eagles are asking for too much, but if they really want to trade him, they'll come down. If they're asking for too much, they don't want to trade him. Will he be a Patriot? Will he be a Buffalo Bill? Will Justin Jefferson get traded to the Buffalo Bills or to somewhere else like the 49ers? I don't really foresee that happening. The Vikings are trying to win, and they can't win if they trade their best receiver away while they're trying to get a quarterback to throw it to him. So I just can't see that happening. Is Joe Burrow, when is he going to ask for a trade? Could he do it if the draft and the free agency is bad? Could he do it before the season starts? Or is he going to play one more year and decide to say, I want out? Pull a Carson Palmer. I think the Vikings are going to be calling the Bengals. I think they're going to be calling Aaron Rodgers. I think they'll be calling the 49ers for Mac Jones. And we'll see. All right, that's up for me. Y'all be safe. Thank you, Varys, for being here. And he said he'll be here tomorrow. I will be here right after Monday Night Raw. Okay? I still have faith in J.J. McCarthy. Minnesota Dad, where you been, brother? Man, I hadn't seen him since like the season started. And we're in off season now. Why would you have faith in J.J. McCarthy? I guess it's okay to do that. He was a rookie. Second year pro, but it was like it was his rookie season. So I'm not saying you shouldn't have faith in him, but they fired the general manager because they didn't leave one of those quarterbacks in the building to compete with J.J. No Daniel Jones, no Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl. They said, screw this, you're fired. Now, who would have knew that Sam Darnold would have went and won a Super Bowl wherever he signed when he left Minnesota? But that's what he did. And now these are the consequences that he faced from that. And the 49ers took that dude back. Anyway, good to see you on here again, Minnesota Dad. It's been a while. He said he still got faith in J.J. McCarthy. I don't know if I do, but he's got to have some competition in the building. Do they bring back Kirk Cousins? Do they call Aaron Rodgers to, come over here? Don't go to Pittsburgh. They want a veteran, though. And I don't know if a veteran is going to answer the future. So maybe they just want the veteran because they do still believe in J.J. McCarthy. But a Mac Jones or a Kyler Murray is young and the future, the present and the future, if they could get one of them. That would pretty much be a wrap for J.J. McCarthy, though, if they went that way, that route. But we'll see. All right. We'll see what happens as the domino first falls. It'll be in effect after that. I'll be here to talk about it. Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns returns. CM Punk. Can't wait to see that personal stuff they got going, because I think those two really do hate each other, like in real life, for real. So this should be good on the mic. Some of this stuff is going to get real personal, and somebody's going to go off script at some point. And who's going to answer Brock Lesnar's challenge? I don't think we're going to find out for the next 5 weeks or so, but we'll watch and see, I guess. Okay, who attacked Jey Uso? Are we going to find out anything tomorrow night? Is he still in the hospital? Is he written on TV for a while, or what? At least he'll have a story when he gets back, and maybe he won't have time to eat all the damn time. I don't want Kyler personally. I wouldn't want him either, but a lot of people are putting him with the Vikings. Minnesota Dad. Hope all is well with you. All right, I'm out. Be back tomorrow night after Raw, unless something crazy breaks. You know I'll be watching. I'll be putting up the quick reel or the clip. Follow on all platforms, because you never know when your favorite unk might pop back up live or just popping up with a short or a reel. Check them out. Smash the bell. Hit the follow button. Hit the like button. Share, share, share. Repost, repost. Thank you. Y'all be safe. Until the next time, peace.